Hello guys, hello, my name is Helena, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do another cookie set. It's a very berry baby shower. So you probably already seen some like that, so it's nothing new that I created. So just if you want to learn how I make this, so let's watch. Alright, so I have some plaque shapes, some baby onesies, and here's another tray. We're gonna do strawberry, rattle, and another plaque. I already have my colors ready, so I have white icing in 2 bags for outline and to flood in. Pale pink icing, the same thing for flooding and outline. And then I have red color for filling in and for outlines as well. All right, for the pale pink icing, I use Wilton color gel in shade Rose. You can find it on any your local Walmart stores, I believe. This is very pretty color. Makes it very nice, bright pink. And for the pinkish red color, I used that pink color, a lot of them, and I added this Chef Master red gel. All right, so it created that kind of red but pinky shade red. All right, so let's go ahead and start this one. I'm gonna start by outlining my cookies. I always do that. That way I don't need to worry about my flooding consistency, if it's too thick or too thin. And also if you're beginner, I will say that's the easiest way to start. All right, for outline, I don't use any tips. I just snap a little tip of the icing bag and just go ahead and outline everything that I need to be in red for right now. So that's my strawberries. So just slowly follow the shape of your cookies. All right. Let me move it so you guys can see it. All right, so then another will be like a plaque. So that will be red color as well. So I'm gonna outline that too. Again, slowly, I kind of hold my icing above the cookie so that way I can guide it better to follow the shape and keep my lines straight. All right. All right, just like that. Fix a little bit. And then my flooding consistency bag. So again, just snap the little tip of the bag. Just make sure watch where your clippings go. Don't lose them. Make sure they don't go into the cookie. All right, and let's go ahead and fill our red shapes. Again, I'm using royal icing. I will leave a link in the description box to my recipe. I'm using Wilton Meringue powder for mine. Very easy. I don't think I used any other meringue powders before. I kind of stuck with this one because I always got the same results and I trust it. All right. So fill out my red shapes. And you can see the filling consistency, it's kind of thick, but it does self-level. All right, as you can see that first strawberry I just piped in lights, you can see it did change the shape a little bit, so that means it's leveled itself. So that's what you make sure that it will level. All right, so that all looks good. Now go ahead and other shape I'm gonna outline in white first. So that will be kind of my base for the cookie shape. So I use my stiff consistency royal icing to outline this cookie. And again, squeeze. And I kind of hold my icing bag just a little bit above the cookie surface. All right, and fill it in. Again, I like to start from outline, from the outside, and then fill in the middle of the cookie. So that way I kind of feel I don't overdo it. All right, so that's done. Go ahead, put it under the fan or dehydrator if you have one. And I'll continue to the next tray. So this one will be pale pink for outline for the bottom part of the onesie. All right, I'm gonna fill in right away with the flooding consistency, pale pink. All right, so I'm gonna leave this video without speeding up moments, so that way you can see in a true real world how the cookies have been decorated and how much time it takes for each one. All right, now this will be for the plaque. Those will be filled with white background, so I'm gonna outline them in white as well, so that way it matches. All right. And I'm gonna outline my top part of the onesie, so that will be white color. All right, then let's go ahead, fill it in. All right, slowly, slowly, just continue to fill in your shape. Don't overdo it. Just make sure your cookie has even layer of icing all across. If your icing is too stiff, you can tap a little bit tray on the table, help it to spread out, or you can shake a little bit individual cookie. All right, now with stiff consistency, pale pink icing, let's go ahead and do the lines. On a onesie for the details. Gonna help a little bit with the boo-boos. Those happens, but nothing that we cannot fix. All right, and I do this part first before fill in the top part, because this way I don't need to worry about the ends of these lines. See how they go on the other side? I can just fill in with white icing and you will never gonna see that. So all right, and continue to the other onesies as well. See, when I have multiple cookies, I don't do each at a time, one at a time. I do it like an assembly line, basically. I have one color, I do that one color on all of the cookies. Then I go to the next color, then I go to the next step. I feel like that way it's faster comes out. But again, to each their own. All right, now we can fill the top part of the onesie. All right, finish it up. Just follow the outline and slowly fill it in. Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna put it under the fan to dry it a little bit. Okay, so this is the first original tray. Now we can continue to add more details. So now it's set under the fan a little bit, so it's got a little crust over. So now I can go and add a little strawberry details with stiff white icing. So just pipe like a little commas. And if you noticed, I turned my tray upside down, so I feel like this was easier to do that. All right. Now I'm gonna put the shape on top of the rattle shape. So the rattle itself will be pink color, that pale light pink color. So I'm gonna outline it first. So top and bottom part of the rattle. Okay. Just slow and steady. And for the handle, I'm just gonna pipe a little pearls with the stiff white icing. All right, now I'm gonna fill my rattle shape. All right, and the bottom part, of course. All right, just continue to fill it in. And again, this cookie is not completely dry at all. It's been under fan for maybe 20 minutes. All right, now go back under the fan. All right, now the other tray. See how I alternate them between the times how I work on them, and that kind of helps continue with the process, so I'm not just waiting on cookies to dry, but they do have a little time between each step under the fan, and they it helps with them a little crust over. All right, so now for this one, for the plaque, I'm gonna use my airbrush. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box for mine. That was very cheap. I got it off Amazon. Very basic airbrush, but it does the trick, and you don't need expensive systems, expensive machines. I think this one cost me like, I don't know, $20, I believe. And I really like it. It works. All right, so test. Make sure it comes out. I use my stencil. Just gently, because cookies is still very soft. Again, just a little crust over, so very airbrush the stripes in one direction first, very lightly, because I want to stay it very pale pink. All right, and now I put my stripes in a different direction and do the vertical lines now. So that will give us nice, very pretty gingham look. See? Very light. So if I push my airbrush a little harder, it will be hot pink color. So kind of little watch yourself on here. If you want lighter colors, just very, very lightly touch will do the trick. All right. We'll continue to do so on the other ones. See, very pale. All right, flip it other direction. And now do it up and down motion. All right. Just like that. Okay. Now for the onesies, now I can put a little details. Let's do little details on the waistline, kind of like a belt, and a little ruffles at the bottom part. right, and on the plaque one, I'm gonna use my projector and I'm gonna write a message. Gonna help me with spacing. Gonna put baby names on it and the little strawberries in the corner. So that way I don't need to double guess what goes where. Just like that. So I'll continue with the rest. Okay, and since I have a red in my hands, let's go ahead and pipe a little, tiny little strawberry on top of the onesie. So I'm gonna put it like a little carrot. Start larger and go thin, thin, like that. Since it's such a small detail, so you don't need to be extra elaborate on this one. All right, and if it sticks out a little bit, you can use paper towel, kind of like in cake decorating, and I'll just pat a little bit on top. All right, now I'll go back and fill my strawberry parts with flooding consistency royal icing. All right, and put it back under the fan. Go back to the other tray. So now that I have my projector on the table, you can continue with the other details. So let's take this plaque cookie first. And with projector, write a message on that one. So I'm using red icing for the top part of the message. I know it blends in right now, but then I'm gonna use gold over it and then you will see it better. And then white icing for the baby part, so that will stick out. All right, and since I'm here, I'm gonna do a little strawberry on top of the rattle. And you can do it projector, or now that I see how it looks on top, I can actually freehand it and kind of estimate the size of the strawberry. If it's a little different from one cookie to another, I don't think your guest will really notice that. But again, if you feel unsure, you can always use projector for all of it. No judgment here. All right, and I'm gonna fill in my raspberry part with flooding consistency royal icing. All right. So we'll do that. And go ahead and put it back under the fan. All right, so this has already been a couple hours past, so we'll continue with our details for the cookie. So now I'm gonna put strawberry details, little seeds on all of the strawberries. Again, I felt more comfortable with the tray being upside down. Don't forget the little baby strawberry on top of the onesie. And on our plaque. All right. That looks pretty good. Now what's left is the final details, put some green on it. So I'm gonna use regular leaf green colored royal icing. I'm gonna put ties and rattle, like a little bows. It's the middle part. All right. Then I'm gonna put little leaves on top of the strawberry. Don't forget, of course, other cookies as well. And this one, I have no tip in my bag. I just snapped the corner off with my scissors. All right. Do the same on the onesie, on those little teeny beany strawberries. All right, so now I'm done with little details. Now I can snap a little more like a leaf tip in a bag. So see, that way I only used one bag for my whole cookie order. So now with the leaf tip, I go to my largest cookie, to my big strawberries. And I'm gonna put leaves on top of this one. But see, because they're so large, I need a little bit larger for the tip. Or you can put leaf tip on your bag, so that's no problem. But I thought this works just as good, and I don't need to wash another tip. All right, now the other. All right, and just a little part in the middle. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna put that back under the fan. Now we're done with the red for outline and writing and stuff, so now I can use tip on it. It's a Wilton 101. It's the smallest rose tip. And I'll just use the same icing bag that I've been using. I'm gonna cut a little more off of it, and I'll put tip on it and attach it with a little Scotch tape. All right, so that way, again, just one bag. See, and now it's all nice and secure. And let's finish our onesies here. So on the sleeves, we're gonna make some ruffles with the icing tip. So icing tip, of course, has thick and thin ends. So the thin end will be facing out. And kind of zigzag motion, go up and down. I'm gonna put 2 layers in here, bottom and the top one. And I'll create a little ruffle sleeves. All right. Just like that. And then for the other side, I like when you turn the tray other direction. It's kind of easier on the hand, and just icing lays more even. So do exact the same motion, only now we're gonna start from the other side and work yourself down. But the same way, two lines. See, up and down, and the other one up and down, up and down. So just make sure you don't have any creases or cookie sees through between the layers, and you're all good to go. All right. So this one is done. I think it turned out pretty cute. So I'm gonna put it back under the fan, let it dry completely, and we'll come back to more to finish them up. All right, so the magic of the filming, this is tomorrow. All I need to do to finish them is put some gold over on top of this cookie. And see, that's why I piped it in red, because I'm just gonna touch way top of this message with gold, and underneath will be red, so I don't need to worry about the size, the sides of the letters. Okay, so they'll be red on a red background, so they will blend in. So all I need to worry about, just highlight the very top. I hope that makes sense. All right. So I use my edible gold paint, and I like to use Everclear to make it liquidy. Everclear is a very high concentrated grain alcohol, which evaporates very fast. That's what I like about that. Of course, it's very you need to work very fast with that, because it evaporates off your brush as well. All right, so that's done. The rattle's done. Here's how the letter's looking. All right, that was onesie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to my channel, write me a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Bye. Love you so much.